Hi there, and welcome to the Enoch Pratt Free Library live current events quiz. What happened this week? I'm your host, Paula Willey. Join us every Monday afternoon at 3:30 to test your knowledge of what's going on in the world. I'm going to ask you 5 multiple choice questions. If you've joined us via Zoom, you can enter your answers using the poll on your screen. If you're watching on Facebook, you can play along in the comments. Don't worry if you don't get the right answer. You're a winner just for playing. I'll go over the answers at the end, and hopefully we will all learn a little something. Every day you learn something is a day that you have won. So let's get to our quiz. Question 1. Wildfires in California, Oregon, and Washington State have now burned a total of more than 3 million acres. That's about half the size of Maryland. Since the 1940s, inmates from California's prison system have signed up to help fight fires. This week, California Governor Gavin Newsom signed a bill that would recognize their hard work. What does this bill do for those prisoners? Does it A, help them to erase their criminal record? B, provide them better protective gear? C, give them tickets to Disneyland to thank them? Or D, give them a spot on The Masked Singer? In some years, there are as many as 4,000 incarcerated men and women fighting fire in California, making up some 30 to 40% of the firefighting workforce. People who have volunteered to participate in this program make $2 an hour, and every day they work fighting or preventing fires, their sentence is reduced by 2 days. I hope everybody's staying safe out there. Question 2 has to do with flu season. Health experts are very concerned about what's going to happen when flu season starts this year, because the coronavirus epidemic has not yet gotten under control. Having flu and corona at the same time is super bad. According to the National Human Genome Research, so my question for you is, which of the following pictures shows a flu particle? According to the National Human Genome Research Institute, a virus is a small collection of genetic code, either DNA or RNA, surrounded by a protein coat. Viruses have been found everywhere on Earth, and researchers estimate that viruses outnumber bacteria 10 to 1. Viruses can't be killed by antibiotics, and that's why antiviral medications and vaccines are so important in fighting viral diseases such as AIDS, COVID-19, measles, and smallpox. Again, I ask, which of these pictures shows a flu particle? A virus particle is known as a virion. Virions are so small that they can only be photographed with very powerful microscopes. Use the poll on your screen or hit us up in the comments with your answer. Question 3. Oh, it's hard to say goodbye to summer, especially since a lot of us didn't make it to the beach this year because of travel restrictions and social distancing recommendations. So here's Brazilian big wave surfer Maya Gabeira setting a new world record for the biggest wave ever surfed by a woman. This wave is 73.5 feet tall, so that's like she's surfing down the side of a 5-story building. This is the largest wave surfed by anyone this year. The men's biggest wave award winner, Kai Lenny, only rode a 70-foot wave. My question for you, surfers have their own words for different kinds of waves. Which one of these words or phrases is not a real way that surfers refer to waves? A-frame, whitewash, death wedge, or goat boater? Ms. Gabeira is also a big supporter of the conservation group Oceana. Since 2001, Oceana has protected over 1.2 million square miles of ocean and innumerable sea turtles, sharks, dolphins, and other sea creatures. Go Maya. Question 4. Okay, in mad scientist news, crews at the National Accelerator Laboratory have taken the largest digital photos ever. How big are these photos? They are 3,200 megapixels, so large that it would take 378 Ultra HD TV screens to display one of them in full size. And their resolution, that means their sharpness, is so high that you could see a golf ball from about 15 miles away. 15 miles away. This technology will be used in a camera that will take pictures of astronomical objects. But for now, what do you think they took a picture of first just to test it? Was it A, a coffee cup, B, a human hand, C, stapler, it's right there on the desk, or D, broccoli? If you had a brand new camera, what would be the first thing you would take a picture of? I always end up taking a picture of my coffee mug. And for our last question, yesterday, the Baltimore Ravens played their first game of the season against the Cleveland Browns. Lamar Jackson led the Ravens to a decisive victory. Bad news for my husband, who is a Browns fan, but good news for my son, who roots for the Ravens. Sundays can get a little tense around here sometimes. Now, we don't have actual ravens in Baltimore, but we do have crows. Almost every day at 3 o'clock, a pair of crows visits my library branch. They act very weirdly, pecking and attacking the window above our back entrance. This is a video I took of this behavior. It's weird, right? So I did a little reading on crows. Turns out crows are extremely intelligent birds. Which of the following statements about crows is true? Hold on one second. I want to see this part. That is one scary bird, especially in slow-mo. There he goes again. I got nothing. I don't know. All right, so which one of these statements about crows is true? Oh no, now it won't go forward. Come on. There we go. What do crows do? Oh my goodness. All right, the 4 questions about crows. A, crows roost in groups of up to 2 million. B, crows babysit. C, crows can make tools. Or D, all of the above. Take my word for it. I cannot get that slide to stay where it's supposed to be. Okay, are you ready for answers? The answer to question 1 was A. Criminal records are often a bar to employment. California Governor Newsom said he wants to give the prisoners a shot at becoming firefighters and that removing their criminal history will make that more possible. The governor traveled to an area devastated by fire to sign Bill AB 2147, which allows people working on the front lines of wildfire containment to have their criminal records dismissed after serving their sentences. That will make them eligible to receive EMT certification, a hiring requirement of municipal firefighting departments, but a certification that former inmates are prohibited by state law to pursue. So, all right, more trained firefighters in California. That's awesome. Question 2, I asked you which of these 4 photos depicts a flu virus particle. Did you get it? That's right, it's C. Let's look at these pictures a little more closely. Photo A is a giant art project in Miami, Florida. In May of 1983, artists Christo and Jean-Claude surrounded 11 uninhabited islands with 6.5 million square feet of floating, pink, woven polypropylene fabric. For 13 days, the results harmonized with water, sky, and foliage, creating a vivid composition in blue, green, pink, and turquoise. This image is from a documentary video from the Perez Art Museum in Miami. Google surrounded islands to see more amazing images of this masterpiece. Photo B is an image of the Large Magellanic Cloud, one of the brightest supernova explosions in centuries. The blue ring is the supernova's shock wave, similar to like the sonic boom from a supersonic plane. This was taken by the Chandra Large Array. It's so cool. C is a microscopic photo of the flu virus. You can plainly see the coils of DNA inside the virus and the protein layer that surrounds it. The outside of a virus particle is nubby, kind of like Velcro. This is how it latches onto cells in our lungs, letting the DNA inside do its dirty work, making us sick. And photo D is a coconut donut. Look up Flu Finder to find this really cool web app that helps you find flu shots in your area. So I'm going to say, yeah, show me a child's flu shot and show it to me somewhere around 21224. And this is going to give me all of the spots, Safeway, Minute Clinics, etc., where you can get a flu shot close to my branch. It's also going to tell you how much it costs. Not bad, huh? You can use that on your phone as well. All right, moving on. Answer 3. So I was going to ask this question, who invented surfing? But it turns out that it might have been Pacific Island cultures, or it might have been people who lived in coastal Peru hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years ago, or it might have been both. So we don't actually know the answer to that. What I did ask was, which of these 4 terms is not a surfer word for a type of wave? And the answer is D, goat boater. For more on this, let's look at some photos from Nazaré, Portugal, the beach where Maya Gabeira made her record-breaking wave ride. These pictures are by Portuguese photographer Elio Antonio. This one shows an A-frame, which is a symmetrical triangular wave. This is whitewash, right? See the surfer down right in front of it? That guy's about to get creamed. These people do very, very dangerous things. And this one is a death wedge. A wedge wave is created when 2 waves combine to create one doubly powerful wave. This can happen when one wave rebounds from shore and meets the one that's coming in, and then they go like this. And a death wedge is just like a big wedge. But a goat boater is just a kayaker. And this picture was taken right here in Baltimore at the Baltimore Rowing and Water Resource Center in Middle Branch Park. You can rent a kayak there and learn to be a goat boater yourself. Answer 4. Question 4 was about the biggest digital pixel array in the world. The scientists at the National Accelerator Laboratory tested this giant thing by taking a picture of broccoli. They picked a head of fancy Romanesco broccoli. This is the picture they took because it has a very detailed surface. Once installed at Rubin Observatory in Chile, the camera will produce panoramic images of the complete southern sky, one panorama every few nights for 10 years. And then they're going to put this together in a movie, a legacy survey of space and time, a catalog of more galaxies than there are living people on Earth. So it's a big universe out there. And our last question was about crows. People have done a lot of research about crows. They're omnivores, which means they eat anything, and they're not particularly intimidated by people, which means they're easy to observe. According to the Cornell Ornithology Lab, American crows hang out in family groups during the spring and summer, but they roost together in winter. These roosts can be of a few hundred up to 2 million crows. Some roosts have been forming in the same general area for well over 100 years. We're watching a video of about 16,000 crows who roost at the University of Washington at Bothell. American crows do not breed until they're at least 2 years old, and most don't breed until they're at least 4. In most populations, the young help their parents raise their little brothers and sisters for a few years. So if you're helping your parents with babysitting your little brothers and sisters, you are probably familiar with how that feels. Crows use pieces of wood and leaves to extract insects from holes, and will sometimes snip or bend them with their beaks to make them more useful, or even combine parts to make a new tool. Crows have also been observed using a cup to carry water, breaking off pieces of pine cone to drop on predators, and dropping hard nuts on roads so that cars will run over them to break the shells. Only apes and people are this good with tools, so the answer was D, all of the above. As for why the Southeast Anchor Library crow attacks our windows, it's hard to say. Crows have been observed pulling the rubber off of windshield wipers and playing with it. So maybe our guy is pulling at the rubbery materials around the windows. Pratt has some really cool books about crows for kids. Don't forget, you can request books from the library over the phone or on our website and then pick them up via Sidewalk Service. We are here to help. So that's our live news quiz. We get our information from authoritative sources like the Cornell Ornithology Lab, USA Today, the Centers for Disease Control, and CNN. Check out these websites for interesting news and fun activities for kids. Thanks for playing. And be sure to join us next Monday at 3:30 for a special edition of What Happened This Week dedicated to Hispanic Heritage Month. Hasta próxima semana. Adios.